Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's Big Al's Bets. We got the bets of the week 2, NFL. Let's go. All right, we're just going to go right down the list. I'm going to show you my picks. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. You can comment below if you disagree, you agree. If so, why? And we'll just kind of keep it moving. At the very end, I'm going to pick 5 games, all thrown in a parlay. It's going to pay out somewhere in the odds of 10 bucks for about 6 grand. So you're welcome. Have yet to hit one, but you know how we do. We'll figure it out. All right, let's jump right in. So, first game of the day, Thursday night football. We've got the Vikings, we got the Eagles. The spread 7 points. The over/under set at 48.5. I'll tell you right now, Eagles looked good against the Patriots. The Patriots great defense, 20 to 25. Hurts didn't look great. The offense kind of struggled, but it's the Patriots defense, so I kind of expected that. I took the Patriots to cover the 4. They lost by 5, so it was really really close. Anyway, on this game, it's at the Eagles. They're going to be flying around. They're going to be doing their thing. I like the Vikings +7. That's a lot. It's a whole touchdown. I think they cover it. I also like the over. You throw those together in a parlay, you get +253. I like to put two things together when I make my bets. 10 bucks on that, you win 36. Well, you win 25, but you get your 10 back, 36, right? So it's a three. It's 3.5 times your bet. So I really like that there. Over +7. If you felt real ballsy, I don't. You could take the money line +240, but I don't see the Vikings winning. I think the Vikings can keep it close. Justin Jefferson's a dog. We all know Kirk Cousins does his thing. No Dalvin Cook, but whatever. The Eagles' defense is really good, but they let Mac Jones throw for almost 300 yards on him, and made it a competitive game. You know. Anyway, next game we got 10 a.m. Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, Chiefs Jags. I like the Chiefs -3. I like the over. Let me tell you why. Chiefs, Kelsey back, Chris Jones signed. Defense should be better. Offense is going to be way better with Kelsey in there. Um, they just got skunked on opening night, banner night in their home. Now, they do have to go on the road to Jacksonville. Not worried about it, okay? They're on the road, they're already favored. I love that. So, we're going to take the Chiefs -3. I am. And the over 51. I think the Jaguars looked really good against Indianapolis. Indianapolis defense is arguably better than the Chiefs, I think. Um, so I think they're going to get their points, but I think the Chiefs are going to do enough to win. They're going to probably win by 7 or 10 points. So I got a score in the neighborhood of like 27-35, something like that. That's way over. That's 62 points. So the over 51. That I'm locking that in. So that's my pick for that game. Boom boom. That's also if you take both together, you've got that. So Chargers Titans moving on here. With that game, we've got -3, spreads 3, over unders 45.5. I love the Chargers here. -3. It's on the road. They just lost in a shootout to the Dolphins. They're going to bounce back. That offense is clicking. That offense is good. Justin Herbert knows what he's doing. And I like the over. The Titans scored 17, I believe, this last week. And the Chargers, obviously, we know they got in the 30s. So you add 30 and you add the 17, you're at 47, 45 and a half. I think the Titans will play a little better because the Chargers defense is good, but it just let Tua just dunk all over him, 466 yards. They let Tyreek run all over. You got the Titans, you got Tannehill, you got Hopkins. I think they're going to, final score for this game is going to be something in the neighborhood of 20 to 35. So I think we get to 55 points. So I think you're good. All right, next game Seahawks, Lions. Spreads 5.5. Seahawks at the Lions. Over under set at 47. Love the over. These two were two of the top offenses last year. And the Seahawks, they laid a dud against the Rams, but the Rams somehow just have their number. So I don't think we take anything away from Seattle. They're going to bounce back. I like the Seahawks +5.5 on the road, and I like the over. Next game, we've got the Raiders at the Bills. Now, this one started out, it started the week at 10 points. It's moved down a little bit to 8.5. Controversial pick, probably here. Raiders on the road in Buffalo. I love the Raiders +8.5. It's so many points. The over under so tough here. The Bills did not impress me against the Jets. Jets great defense, so you have to realize that. But you also have to realize Bills coming off a Monday game, one less day of rest. So I like the Raiders to cover, and I actually like the under. I don't the Raiders have a decent defense. They're middle of the pack. They're nothing special, but I like the under here. 47 points. I think you get a 21-20 type of a game. Maybe a 17-21, but it's not gonna. I don't think they lose by more than 9. The Raiders get 7 days of rest. Bills only get 6. I think this one is Raiders plus 8. If you're just betting one thing, like not pairing them together, Raiders plus 8.5, I feel is like a lock. Anyway, next game, Ravens Bengals. Okay, Bengals start slow. We know this. This is what they do. It doesn't help. Burrow doesn't play in the preseason because he's always hurt, appendicitis, calf, whatever, right? Um, I like the Ravens to go into Cincy. The 3 points is a big number in betting. That's a field goal. We get a field goal. They can keep the game close, a 1 point game probably. Ravens looked great last week, obviously playing the Texans. We're not going to take that too far, but it's John Harbaugh. He knows what he's doing. Over under 46.5. I like the under, personally. Ravens are going to not score as many on the Texans. They're not going to score as many on the Bengals as they did on the Texans. And obviously, the Bengals, they got toasted by the Browns. So we play the under. And then in the off chance that the Bengals have just as bad of a game against the Ravens as they did against the Browns, then we get the +3, we get the under. We're a happy camper. Anyway, next game. We've got the Bears at the Buccaneers. Okay, Buccaneers beat the Vikings. Nobody saw that coming. In Minnesota, -3 points. I think we have to take it. The Bears are unproven. The Packers, I mean, what are the Packers, right? And the Bears lost hard to the Packers in their home, and they were getting hyped. So I think they're overhyped, which is why they're +3 on the road. Like, that's a pick 'em game. That's just home field advantage. And so they're not giving the Buccaneers any credit. We're going to take the fact the Buccaneers were able to beat the Vikings. We're going to take the -3. And I actually do like the over on this game because Bears defense isn't good, so Baker's going to be able to score a lot more. I think the Bears have worse defense, in my opinion, than the Vikings, and Baker got 16, 17 on the Vikings, so he should be able to get 20 into the 20s, and then all the Bears have to do is keep the game somewhat close, and I think they can do that because I don't think the Bucks defense is. I think also middle of the pack defense. I don't think it's crazy good, so I like the -3. I like the over. Next game, bada bing, we're just rolling right on through. Packers Falcons. Uh, Big Packer fan. Love the Packers, always have. We're taking the Packers -2. We're taking the over. My kind of rule of thought for me, over 40. If you're at 40 or 41, it's hard for me to take an under, unless I know the teams are real defensive. Um, Packers -2. They scored 38 on the Bears. I just said the Bears aren't that good. I still think that. The Falcons, they scored 24. So 24-38. That over should hit. Falcons better defense. Packers also have good defense. So the under could hit, but it's only 40.5. So I like I really, really like -2. I think the Packers win it by a touchdown or so, I mean we get a field goal. As long as they win by a field goal, we're chilling. And then the over, and that's a two-pick parlay if you put them together plus 276. So I like that number a lot. All right, next game, the Colts at the Texans. Okay, this one's easy for me. Two rookie quarterbacks. You look at their results week one. Okay, both have rookie coaches, like new head coach, new quarterbacks. Okay, which team has a better defense? The Colts. Which team scored more points in week one? The Colts. I think this one's easy. We're taking the Colts on the road. It's divisional, whatever. The Colts on the road, over 40. Texans, I believe, had 10 points week one. The Colts got to 21. So that's 31 points, yes, but the Texans are going to score more on the Colts than they did on the Ravens, and the Colts are going to score more on the Texans than they scored on the Jags. It's just simple. So anyway, I like -1.5, and I like the over. Next, Giants Cardinals. Nope, Rams Niners. Okay, in the last 10 games that they've played against each other, McVay and Shanahan, Sean McVay has lost to Kyle Shanahan 6 of the last 7. Shanahan has his number. He knows how to beat him. It's in LA. That's the only, but LA's not a home field advantage for the Rams. So I like the -7.5. It's a touchdown and a point. I know that. I like the -7.5, and I actually like the over. The Rams defense is good, but it's not what the Steelers defense is. There's no TJ Watt on the Rams. They have Aaron Donald, sure, but the O line for the Niners is good. So the Niners are going to score probably 20 to 30 points again, just like they did to the Steelers, over 30. I think they get in between 20 and 30, probably 28. And the Rams are going to put up numbers because that's what they do. So I like 20, 28, the cover. We cover the 7.5, and the over hits. That's what I like. Next game. Giants Cardinals. This one, bounce back game for the Giants. The Cardinals aren't that good. Watch the replays of the last game. They scored 2 field goals, I believe, and then they got a defensive touchdown. That's how they scored their points. So I'm not selling high on that. I'm not buying this plus 5.5. They are at home. That's it. I'm taking the Giants, big bounce back game for Daniel Jones, and I'm taking the over because I think the Cardinals are going to get 10 to 12 points again, and I think the Giants are going to make a statement. They probably get to 30. That's 42 points. So it's going to be it's a close over, but I think we hit the over. Next game, Jets Cowboys. This one is very tough. Before the Rodgers injury, I was full in. Whatever the spread is, I'm taking the Jets because Aaron Rodgers beats the Cowboys. Like I said, Packer fan, watched a lot of those games. Aaron Rodgers beats the Cowboys, but it's the Jets with Zach Wilson now. So, and the line's 39.5. So, and this is where you'll comment below and you correct me if you think I'm wrong because I may be off. But I'm thinking Jets plus 9.5. It's so many points. That's 10. It's almost 10 points. You could buy a point. You could buy half a point, make it 10 flat, or you could buy a full point, make it 10.5. So they can lose by a field goal and a touchdown, and you're still covered. I like plus 9.5 because the Jets defense is real. They're going to have a whole week with Zachary Wilson to kind of figure out a scheme that works with him. Brees Hall's still doing his thing. We saw it on Monday night, right? The Cowboys looked great, but the Giants didn't. And so I think we got to like I'm not saying the Cowboys suck. I think they're going to win the game. They probably win by a touchdown. I just don't see them winning by more than 10. And I like the under 40. And like I said, I always take overs. 40 points is it's hard for me to take the under, but this game I think is defensive from both ends, and I think you're going to get a plus 9.5 cover. If this is a low scoring game, 10 points is an easy cover for the Jets, even without Rodgers. All right, next game. Commanders Broncos. This one is tough. Okay, told you three is an important number in gambling. I like plus 3.5. They can lose by a field goal. It's good. The Commanders, Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. They got that other guy. They got the other guy. They got the tight end. They got the running backs. I mean, they're a good team. They're going to be in a lot of games. They're going to be a good cover this year, I think. They won week one. They didn't cover the 7 points, unfortunately, but they won week one. The Broncos are good. They're better this year. Russ looked good. Sean Payton looked good. They're going to need to win the game, and I think they do win the game. I just think it's a close game. So I like the plus 3.5, and I actually like the under in this game. Under 38.5. I don't love that we have to take under 38.5. It's not a lot of points, but I think you're going to have a teens game. It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 to 20, maybe 17-20. That's a cover, or something in the neighborhood of like 14-17. I think that's the way the game's going to go. It's going to be a little slower. It's going to be a lot of running, a lot of back and forth. Good defense on the Broncos, but the Commanders, they're gamers. Especially Sam Howell's a gamer. He's just going to go out there. He's going to do his thing. They're going to keep it competitive. So that's my prediction there. All right, next game. Dolphins Patriots. Spreads 2.5. It's in New England. Over under 46.5. Now we saw what the Dolphins did. Now the surprise of the week for me, Dolphins got to 34. 34-31, I believe, was the final score of that game. The Patriots got to 20 on the Eagles. Way better defense than the Dolphins. So what I like for this game, at home, I like the Patriots plus 2.5, and I like the over. I actually love the over at 46.5 because the Dolphins are probably going to score 30 again. Belichick's defense is a little bit better, right? But I think the Patriots are going to score a lot of points. So I think this could potentially be a shootout type game. So I like the over. And then, it's tough to pick against the Dolphins, but Belichick is just that guy. He's smart. He always finds a way to keep the games close somehow. They should have been killed by the Eagles, and that game came down kind of the wire, 25-20. Like it wasn't like they got killed by the NFC participant in the Super Bowl. So I like the Patriots plus 2.5 here at home. I like the underdog at home. I get 2.5 on a home team. And that's the Patriots. I like that. So anyway, next game we have two Monday night games. Not sure why, but such is life. All right, Saints Panthers. Panthers rookie quarterback. They are at home. They're going to show up. They're going to show out. I still like the Saints to cover the 3.5, and I like the under here. I like the under because the Saints have a good defense. I like the under because Derek Carr isn't like that game was low scoring too. That one was in the teens. So I like the Saints to cover 3.5, and I like the under. 3.5's tough though, man. I almost switched that to the Panthers to cover 3.5. In real time, do I do that? Field goal game. Now I'm sticking with the Saints. It's a rookie quarterback, and that defense is full of dogs. Marshawn Lattimore's a dog. Cam Jordan's a dog. I think it's a touchdown game. It's what 20-17. No, it's 21-14. That feels right. Something in that neighborhood. So that I'm going to stick with that. Saints and the under. Next game, last game of the week. Okay, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers at home again. I like the Steelers at home, and I like the over. I think Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Pat Fryermuth, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson is in the air. I don't know if he's going to play. I like them to bounce back. The Browns played a good game against the Bengals, but the Bengals didn't do anything. The line's 40 points. It's going to be close. It's going to be obviously both teams have good defenses, but I think you're going to see a higher scoring game. I think this gets close to 30 per team, and I think the Steelers win the game, which is why I'm taking the +2 instead of hopping on the money line. Give me the 2 points in case it is a 1 point game at the end. It could be like, a 2 point conversion happens, then a field goal happens, and then another field goal answers, and that's your ball game. But I like the Steelers to win the game and to bounce back, and I like the over 39.5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the individual games for the slate. Now, what I like to do, just a little juice, a little $10 bet. It's nothing, no skin off your back, but if it hits, it's like, okay, now we're doing something, right? I pick 5 games. I add the over and the under. I add the over and the spread rather, and we pick 5 games. And the payout is plus 65,000 somewhere in that neighborhood. So $10 to win $6,500, give or take. So for this week's 5 game parlay, I like the Chiefs -3 and the over with the Jaguars. I like the Chargers -3 and the over with the Titans. I like the Seahawks +5.5, and I like the over against the Lions. I love the Raiders +8.5. I don't love the under, but I'm taking the under anyway. Click. And then, last but not least, Packers -2 over 40.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could. What other game could you switch this out for if you wanted to switch out? I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it. I don't trust the Raider game as much. I like the spread on the Raider game. I don't know about the score. Let's switch this to the Colts -1.5 and the over 40. That feels much better to me. Okay, so we have the Colts -1.5 over 40 points. We've got the Packers -2 over 40.5. We've got the Seahawks +5.5 and the over 47.5. We got Chargers -3 at the Titans over 45.5 points. And we have the Chiefs -3 and over 51 points. Bounce back game for the Chiefs, bounce back game for the Chargers, bounce back game for the Seahawks. Green Bay keeps it clicking against the Falcons, and the line's only 40. And the Colts bounce back against the Texans. They had a chance against the Jags, and then Anthony Richardson got hurt. But I think he took a while to get going. Now he's locked in. Now he's ready. That offense is going to be clicking. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of energy. Now that is just so you guys know, that's a 10 pick parlay, $10 to win $6,443. That is a great parlay. That probably hits, and then you can thank me. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Big Al's Bets. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all the things. If you disagree with any of my picks, comment down below. We'll see you guys next week. Good luck.